What's up, everybody? It is another freaking episode. Every time we say it, we can't believe this. Like, because we're like really last minute procrastinators.
Yeah.
In life.
In life in general, yeah.
How is life?
We're here, though.
We're here. Episode 82?
82.
Is that right? 82?
Cullen has the same reaction every episode.
It's like a question?
Every episode? What? I love it. No, we've been doing this a year and a half. That's pretty much.
That's insane.
A year and a half, I know. Thank you guys so much for listening and following along with us and being our ride or diers. I mean,
ride or diers. Don't tell mommers. Don't tell mommers.
We are the brother-sister duo. I am the better half of the two.
Yeah.
And, my name's Britany, if you're just joining in. And this is my brother Cullen. And we decided to do this, as you just heard, a year and a half ago. And we've been going every Tuesday, baby. We post it 2 times.
2 times Tuesday.
2 times Tuesday. Once on YouTube, once on the podcasting stations. And so you can listen and then go home and watch after.
Yeah. So if you're like our moms, you just watch while you're driving.
Yeah, exactly. God.
Like half the time, I'm like, what the heck, Mom? Turn to your... She's like, I'm watching your vlog. It's so cool. This is so funny.
Yeah, but you're driving. And she's telling you this while you're FaceTiming with her while she's driving.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we do. That's how I talk to my mom is on FaceTime. And usually we're not even looking at each other. We're looking at ourselves in the FaceTime thing. Mom's picking her teeth and, popping her zip.
I don't get on the... I mean... I know it's interesting because I'll be out at the store or something and there's Betty with her phone up just talking to her friend on FaceTime and then she'll be checking out and put her phone down and you still hear Jack on the other end talking and he's like, yeah, and then I got to go over and pick up this and FaceTime. And it's like FaceTime is like the new... I just don't do that. I can't FaceTime.
I do FaceTime. And I think it's normal for nowadays to see people just walking around with their camera up. And it actually makes me feel good about vlogging. Because sometimes I'll have my phone up and I'll be vlogging with my phone or something. And I'll feel like other people think I'm just FaceTiming somebody.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're going to have a conversation on FaceTime, you need to make sure that it's appropriate for all ages. If you're walking around the Target talking to mom and, so you can't be cussing because everybody can hear everything.
I heard, some people were arguing one day about something. I was like, okay, I'm going to go on to the next house.
Right? Like, you're still in public.
I used to hold the camera up, the G7X, and would get weird looks, and I would just say I was FaceTiming my mom. But then that would make them with his camera.
They're like, he's doing it wrong.
Yeah, but he's not FaceTiming his mom. But, oh my gosh. What's up?
What's up, Cullen? You survived the storm, I see.
You got notes, I see. Dang.
I got notes for today, man. Like, you told me to do homework.
Well, I meant just watch some stuff and remember what to talk about. That's how I do it.
I did that too, but my memory is not what it used to be. So
yeah, that's true. I was like halfway.
Don't tell mom stories. Got my memory faded. So
halfway through watching some stuff last night, I was like, I should probably write some of this down. And then, Katie uses notes on her phone.
That's what I'm using. Yeah.
And I'm just like, but then I gotta go out of what I'm doing to type a note out, and I'm like,
well, the thing is, typing goes in one ear out the other. If I write something down, I'll remember it. I don't even need it after I wrote it, wrote it down.
Crazy how that works. Mm-hmm. They say that even like all these goal setting podcasts that I've listened to, and everybody's like, get your thoughts out of your head. Even when we're doing like therapy and stuff, get it out of your head onto paper.
I know.
Physically write it down.
And if you're like me, you're like, whatever.
I'm like, yeah, I remember that.
Trap. I got a steel trap up here.
But no, it's so weird how literally getting letter by letter from this thing to this thing to that thing makes things so much.
It's crazy though. Like our skill, the skill of handwriting has just diminished in recent years. And Corey makes fun of me all the time because he's like, because I'll write something down. I think I wrote something to his mom or something, and he was like, "She can't even read this chicken scratch. Like, can you write? Are you educated? Did you go to school?" I'm like,
we were helping Gaines the other day with some homework. Yeah,
I can't figure out how to do it with my hand.
In the back in our day, back when I was in your age, we had to learn how to do cursive handwriting.
Yeah.
And she was like, she saw something in cursive one day, and she was like, what is this? I think it was like a cookies for Santa plate, and it was all written in cursive. She's like, what does this say? This isn't even English. And I was like, no, that's cursive. It says cookies for Santa. Well, that didn't look like an S. And then it made me think about, like, she's literally going to skip I don't even think cursive's taught anymore. I think it goes straight from like learning your
laptops.
Your A's and your B's and your C's with the dotted line in the middle to typing.
Yeah.
And then like, it's the world.
I know, right? So think about like when you were a kid and you were arguing with your teacher about how I don't need to know cursive. This is stupid. No one ever uses cursive anyway. And she's like, "You're gonna need it."
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, "Booyah, bitch! I told you I didn't need this."
Bitch, be gone. That's crazy how it's all changed.
I know it, but what are you gonna do? It's the here and now. It's the time that we live in, Cullen. It's not fast. Like for me to handwrite something is not fast enough. I can't do it fast enough. That's why it looks like chicken scratch, because I'm like, just skip that part of the no one cares about it. You know what I mean?
Do you use the swipe method on your text? Like you can just go like, and it does like a predictive.
No, but what I do use is that my phone is really good about learning me and what I'm about to say, and so I'll type in the first letter of a word and it'll pop up, and then I'll just press
tap it. Yeah. Have you done those? There's those like memes that go around where it's like, I am. And then you let your predictive text fill in the next one.
Yeah, I haven't got on that train yet. Then the whole thing that they're doing now where you like Instagram story yourself with something over your head and then the wheel turns and stops.
Oh, the Disney character stuff.
Yeah. But there's like everything now.
Yeah.
It's like, do something. I saw Missy Lane.
Oh, yeah.
I saw hers yesterday, and it was like, and that was the coolest one I've seen.
Like Pokemon or something?
Yeah, she's done a bunch of them that I've seen in her stories, but like one of them was, it's like telling them to do something, and it was like, lick your nose or something. So you got these people just looking stupid. I mean, she could do that, but, so she didn't look stupid, but you know what I mean? It's cool that it's like, that's one that I might get into, but I just hadn't jumped on that train.
There's all sorts of stuff like that on TikTok too going around. But
there's been some interesting things on
we survived the storms.
Yeah, we survived the storm. I was going to say there's been some interesting things on the internet.
What?
Like what's going on with you, man? I saw your vlogs. I saw some of your vlogs the last couple days, which I don't watch your vlogs every day. Sorry, but
what was the There's been 2 or 3. What was the last one? I don't even remember. The last one was talking about our debt. We're like,
I know,
freaking
Cullen,
in debt.
I was like, dang, Cullen's gonna tell it.
Well, it's like one of those things that you don't talk about, supposedly.
No, it's very taboo. That's why I was like, ooh, scandal, and that's why I clicked on that. Which is funny, but that's just the way it is,
Yes.
Everybody wants to know everybody's business, and y'all are just like, here it is.
Yeah, we didn't. We kind of told our story leading up to it, but well, it's
good,
just
though.
like
You share the rest of your life with everybody. Might as well share the down part and the all the drama too.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it the night before, and we kind of talked about this, and we're actually going to do another follow-up video yesterday, if you're listening to this on the podcast, and actually give some numbers, I think, because it's like, why not? Because you hear these people. I
remember when y'all were Dave Ramsey in it back in the day.
Yeah.
Y'all were living in Mama's garage or in the garage apartment or whatever, and y'all were like coupon cutting fools, and it got me where I was like interested in couponing and stuff.
Well, that's something we didn't even mention in the last video, is how hardcore it was, because we didn't have kids, and you had the time to actually like go through the coupons and search everything. But
nowadays they're just in your phone. Retail Me Not.
Yes, Retail Me Not is good, but we're gonna kind of dive into specifics, because you hear these callers on the Dave Ramsey podcast or show call in, and they're like, me and my husband are $250,000 in debt, and ours, and like it's going to be interesting, because it's like, oh well, that's not really that bad comparatively to when you hear those type of stories. Everybody, but you can't compare everything.
Everybody's different, right?
Just but
from the mindset that y'all were, even to be $1 in debt is so drastically different than how y'all used to be. So I'm excited about your new little series going on, and I'm glad that you're like actually going to share it with people, because the thing is that you find people that will talk about it, but they'll beat around the bush and they'll never really get down to brass tacks and like tell you, this is what happened to me for real. And like a lot lot of them you see like, oh, I got out of debt with Dave Ramsey, or I got out of debt with, it's always like first thing that comes to mind is scam.
Yeah, right.
So it's like bullshit. Like, call this number. Like, what's the number you're going to get me to call and scam me to pay you $30 a month to get me out of debt?
Oh, yeah. So there's no secret. It's just but
it's cool to see it like in real life. Yeah, like real life. This is actually what you have to do, and I'm excited for you guys to.
We're excited. I'm just excited to not have the mental strain in the back because we have done the beat around the bush thing. Like, people always ask, and again, it's going to sound like I'm beating around the bush, but they're like, how do you make money on YouTube? And I'm like, well, or how much do you make on YouTube? And it just depends. Like, it literally depends. And that's what's so kind of hard. We're reevaluating everything, like from our tax person to our cell phone bills. Like, I don't even know. I think we've talked about this. Like, they were like jacking up our cell phone over the past 2 years, and we didn't know. You can just call and like have them redo your plan for unlimited data. You know what I mean? But like, it's just that stuff we were oblivious to, and we were just getting charged like almost $300 a month. And you can get unlimited now for like $100 and something. I don't know. It's those little things that we're being more aware of.
One thing you can do is if you got like an appliance, you can call and be like, my appliance doesn't work, and they'll send you a free one, and then you sell that one, and your appliance worked the whole time. Now, okay, that might not be
Hang on.
This is an insider trick that we just learned the other day. So me and Corey have bought
appliance.
Well, so the water cooler thing that we have. So we have a water cooler, and it has a hot and cold, and it's like the best. One of our neighbors told us, they were like, before you have the baby, before we had Sophia, they were like, you got to get this water cooler because it'll save your life. And it really has. It's been so great for making bottles and whatever. It's like filtered water.
Oatmeal.
It's hot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. So, so we've got one. I found one for $90. They're usually like $250, $300, right? For these nice, like big under the thing with the big jug water coolers. And I got one for $300, and it's like a $300 one. I got it for $90 at the thrift store. At the freaking thrift store, $90. Sweet, right? So we've had it for a year. I mean, since she's been alive. And the hot water stopped heating the other day. And I was like, what? Me, I'll call and raise hell in a heartbeat for anything. So I call up there, and
the thrift store.
You get more flies with honey than you do. That's that whole saying. Whatever. That's what Corey's trying to tell me. He's like, Brittany, don't get mad. Just ask it. So I was like, being real sweet, and I was like, hey, my water cooler stopped breaking, because we didn't actually buy it from the company.
So you called the company, not the thrift store.
I called the company.
I got this from you a year ago.
Yeah. Can you imagine the other end of that? No, I didn't. So I called the company, and they were like, oh, well, did some troubleshooting. I said, no, it's still not working. They said, okay, well, do you use the Primo water? And I was like, yes. And so, because I did, and they were like, okay, well, let's just send you a new one. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. That was it. Yeah. I was like, thanks. Like 4 days later, I had a brand new water cooler, same as I had before. And my other one works. It just didn't heat anymore. So I still got cold water. So we moved that one down here to the bar. I got two now. And I could sell this one.
You could sell that one, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what? Y'all just going to send me a new one? That's okay.
Just for calling and saying.
So now Corey's like, well, call the refrigerator people.
Yeah.
Try them
get a new refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy, because, I mean, it's like, for them, the cost to send somebody out and troubleshoot a water cooler versus just sending you a new one.
Yeah.
But they didn't say, like, do you have proof of purchase? Or
nothing. And by the way, if y'all need a water cooler, Primo is the name of the company. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love them. They're
We've
great.
got one. I think it's Primo. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But no, that's very.
So there's a little trick of the trade if you don't want to make a couple extra bucks. Just start calling your appliance company, like that toaster. Let's call and troubleshoot. Nope, not working. You're just sitting in your box in the living room.
You can flip stuff on, and I know Gary V does this too. Gary V, he'll go to garage sales on Saturday, and this is his hustle. The way he hustles and makes extra money is he'll go buy stuff at a garage sale and then flip it on Facebook or eBay. He'll buy it for $1 and then flip it for $5 or $10 or whatever. And then
seems like so much work.
So much
for $5.
Yeah.
But here's Cullen, when you said that though, I'm totally thinking about doing this to make some money. You know my store that I love, the 25-cent store down the street. So every day it's a different price, but on Wednesdays it's 25 cents. So every Wednesday I've gone to the store and I'm just racking up on bullshit that I don't need. But Corey's like, what do you need that for? I mean, it's just the most random stuff. Y'all go watch my newest vlog. It's in a haul. I did a haul from the 80 items I bought for $20 the other day. And it's great. I mean, it's just the most random. I got a bag of them right here.
What is that?
Games. This is for games for you. It's unicorn.
Oh my god! Yeah, you hooked me up with a cell phone holder.
A paint by number. I mean, yeah. It's just
paint by number. I'll use that.
Right? It's like dance boogie board. So anyway,
25 cents.
Things, and I've gone literally. Cullen the other day, I bought a hat for 25 cents, and I didn't know it was for the Don't Tell Mom podcast because I was like, I came home and I told Corey, I was like, look at my sweet hat for 25 cents, and he was like, yeah, that's from Stranger Things, that show.
Oh yeah. And
it's the hat that he wears that's about a little computer. It says 1985.
Oh.
So I got that 25 cents. I was at Target yesterday, Cullen, and I saw the same hat on the shelf for $12.99.
Wow.
Winning. So that's what I'm saying, though. You can go and buy. So I'm thinking every Wednesday I'm going to go and start racking up.
Yeah.
And then just sell all this crap for.
Put it on Facebook Market.
Put it on Facebook, put it on eBay, and just sell it for,
retail or whatever.
10 times what I paid for.
Or just search for it, search for the name of it, and then see what the actual and say brand new. So what is the deal? It's like Amazon returns, or
it's basically like Amazon return. Like it's these big bins, and you got to spend some time, and you got to go through it, and you got to shuffle through the shit to find the good stuff or the stuff that's appealing to you. But everything's going to be different for everybody, And so there's these huge bins, and they get these truckloads every weekend. And on Sundays, on Thursdays, it's $7. Then Fridays, it's $5. Then
why would you go on a Thursday?
Saturday, it's $3. Monday, it's $2. Yeah.
Oh, I guess because everything will be picked through, all the good stuff.
Right,
because it's more expensive.
To get there when the truck comes, or to get there when the last day. But it's still good stuff.
Good deal.
Right, yeah. So, because, I mean, it's so much stuff you don't know. You got to really dig under it. There's clothes. There's tons of clothes. Imagine.
Dildos you told me about.
Yeah, there was a dildo with some anal beads in there the other day, and I bought the dildo.
Oh, my God.
It was 25 cents, and it was a Secret Santa gift.
Oh,
so I thought, anyway, that's another story. But, So I'm thinking about going on Wednesday. I'm going again on this Wednesday, and I'm thinking about going again. Last week I took a friend of mine this week, and she was so excited because she waxes herself. And apparently the wax to do, she waxes her arms and stuff. And apparently the wax to do that costs a lot of money. And it's $15 for a little bag of these little wax beads that you have to melt down to use to wax your arms and blah, blah, blah. And she was so excited because she was there with me on last Wednesday, which was 25-cent day, and she spent $7 and got 15 bags of this. I mean, and then a bunch of other stuff. She was just so excited.
Okay, so, you're talking me into it.
I've been calling Cullen every week.
Yeah, you're I got a baby scale for 25 cents. Well, the thing that turned me off was when I drove by it the first time before it was even opened, or maybe it was the first night it was open, plastered on the back wall that you can see when you drive by. It was expiration dates on foods may cause food not to be good or something like that. I was like,
yeah,
I'm not going in there.
Imagine you bought something online, something to eat online, a big pack of snacks for your kids or something, and then those get returned. There's 2019 calendar, stores that have shut down from Amazon, and then what was left in their warehouse that was sold for pennies, and then this guy's coming and selling it. I
gotta go check this out.
I actually met the owner. I think I'm gonna do a brand deal with them.
That's awesome.
Because I'm already promoting him. I'm y'all need to pay me.
Yeah,
to
right.
Promote me. They gave me a gift.
Well, once we get out of debt, we'll go over there.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. If you just need to, because I know y'all like the retail therapy like I do. Sometimes I just need to go buy some shit, and it's not. And I would rather go to the dollar store. That's my thing. Is Corey laughs at me because it's I don't go shopping at the mall at Abercrombie and Fitch or these expensive stores. I don't do all that. I go get my fix.
Yes.
Because sometimes you just got money in your pocket. You just even if it's $5, it's just burning a hole, and sometimes you just got to go spend it. Well, I'll go to the thrift store on half off day, which is also Wednesdays.
Yep.
So I'm about to start putting her in daycare on Wednesdays.
just to go retail therapy.
Retail therapy. But I mean, I get stuff, and but I don't spend a lot of money. Like the last 2 weeks, I've come home with 80 things, like bags full. My van is full.
Yes.
And I spent $18.
That's
and it's
crazy.
Just like, how do you have so much stuff?
Yeah, you need to resell that shit.
Yeah, I know. A lot of it, I mean, it's nothing I'll ever use, but some of it is. Like, and if you find one thing that was a $15 item that you found that you used that you needed,
right,
then it made that whole trip worth it.
Right,
you know what I mean? Then it's like you just got all that other stuff for free.
Katie was wearing a shirt just last weekend, or this past weekend, that she saw an old picture from like 11 years ago or something. She's like, you were wearing this shirt in this picture the same shirt that I'm wearing today, you were wearing 11 years ago. I was like, oh yeah, that's an Abercrombie & Fitch shirt that I got on half off day at the thrift store. Because I loved that. Like, I would find suits that God knows who wore.
Popping tags.
Yes.
With that song.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I used to love that because you
Fur
could go
coats and shit.
Yeah.
Like the pimp walking around.
I remember I found it like before Gaines was born, like a diaper genie, but oh my God, that made me almost vomit because I opened it up.
Don't buy something.
There
was
a diaper in the diaper genie at the thrift store. I was like, oh my gosh.
God, I'm gonna throw up. Please don't make me throw up.
Oh my goodness.
Open up with all that. Anyway, we're not talking about our topic.
Yeah, anyway. Speaking of things you can buy.
For cheap.
Cheap. Yeah, well, not necessarily.
Speaking of discounts.
Speaking of underground discounts. We kind of mentioned this last podcast, but we wanted to talk about the black market. And I don't know if we're going to get demonetized for even mentioning it or not, but some of the videos I watched actually showed like these different ways to get into these. It was almost like a forum page,
like Wiki,
like Wiki Unknown and stuff.
Tor.
It's Tor, and anything with like a .onion.
How are they not shut down?
That's what I'm saying. It's like they say it's not trackable and all this, but like I guess because
everybody knows that that's the place to go to get
you have
in.
To download. I don't know, but
you have to have the software, I guess.
So basically, from what I've gathered,
and it's used for a lot of other things. That's not just that, apparently, too, from what I understand. And there's like 1%. Mm-hmm. It's like millions of people use Tor, and only like 1% of that gets in the black market that way or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, come on, y'all still know.
There's like a whole like category. It's all categorized. And like, just to start off lightly, some of the stuff I saw that I was just like, how does this even work? There were some, you click on, it was like passports or licenses or...
right. University degrees. You can get like a legit degree.
Yeah, like print it out.
And I'm a doctor now.
Like a freaking... credit cards and stuff. But then the guy was like going through reading the reviews, and all the reviews were like, I can't believe this. I was broke right before Christmas and this saved me. And like, I'm just like, who are the people?
Every review is 5-star.
Who are the people on the receiving end getting their identity stolen or their credit cards stolen? Mm-hmm. You know, like, how do they do that?
Is it real people, or is it the company that's getting screwed over? Because, like, personally, I feel less bad for the companies that do for, if it's Walmart getting screwed, then I don't
Time out.
care.
You just ate a crybaby, I think?
No, it was a Tom.
Oh.
I wish.
You gave me a box of crybabies last week, and I about lost my life. Because I was chewing one up, and like it was so sour, and I choked on it the other day in the car, and it wouldn't come out. And then it was one of those like slurpy turkey things where you like suck the turkey in and then spit it back out. It finally like came out after one. I had a piece lodged in my throat, and I couldn't get it out. And the kids thought I was dying. Katie thought I was dying. I was, God. Anyway, sorry.
God, you're driving the car.
No, I was in the passenger seat, but I was just like, God. I could not get my breath because this crybaby was stuck in my throat. And
I'm sorry, Cullen. I had a quarter for every time you almost died.
Anyway.
So good, though.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so listen, last week we talked about the black market and we had homework to do. So me and Cullen have gone home and we did our homework, and now we have learned all things about the black market. And one of the things I was listening to, well, first of all, okay, I don't know which one I should start with.
I know,
the terrible stories, or okay, let me just go through my list of notes real quick. And these are the top 10 things that you can get on the black market and the highest priced items on the market. Okay, number 10 is antelope scarf. So it's a scarf made out of antelope, right? And that was $10,000 for that.
It also it took like 10 antelope to even make the scarf.
And they're like endangered. So the harder it is to get the item, of course, the more the price is going to be.
The moral or the sad part about all that when I was doing research was like anything to do with animals is just sad.
And sadly, a few of these are.
Yeah.
So antelope scarf was 10. Elephant tusk, which is really bad, is $180,000 for an elephant tusk. And they were showing on the video I was watching, they're showing like truckloads just full of tusks. Yeah. And it's just like, how many elephants did y'all murder? Oh my god!
Just for their tusks.
God, that's so sad. But that truckload full was probably like millions of dollars, Cullen, because there's just tons of them piled in there with like the blood still in the end. I wanted to cry.
It was awful.
Watching it. Okay, the seventh is a kidney. $262,000 on the black market, which I found out later in a different video I was watching, that these people are going because they're driven by poverty to go and do something. They are giving their kidney. They're willingly going in and selling their kidneys for $5,000 to these crooked doctors that are taking them out, and then the doctors are then turning around and putting them on the black market for $262,000.
Not gonna lie, I was like considering it. After I was like, okay, I need some money right now. If I don't need my kidney,
because what if your kid needs a kidney one day? What if somebody in your family actually needs it? You're not gonna be able to give it up. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. 200,000 though.
Body parts was a big thing. There was a podcast I listened to, and they were talking about
that makes sense to me though. Like, I'm trying to live.
Well, I don't think necessarily.
Kill them.
You could get like square inches of like human skin, eyeballs.
Yeah, the weirdo stuff. Yeah,
but it brought up a whole nother topic of like cannibalism and like how there's these people out there that literally eat human body parts.
I know.
Like, why would anybody want like I don't know, an eyeball
soup.
Yeah, like eyeball soup and like and then human trafficking. Oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get to that because there is like, I don't know, one of them's weird. It's like a human skull, and it's just so you can have like, where did you get that human skull? You know what I mean? Like, wait a second. Okay. So then, and then another thing with the kidneys was that like, so there's apparently people going into graves and getting them, grave digging, and I'm like, can you imagine getting a kidney that's already been buried? And you just paid $262,000 for a kidney. Anyway, the kidneys are a big deal because of like diabetes and stuff like that. They're running rampant in the U.S. And then, we just got so much money, we can just go on the black market and buy one. So, I mean, it's a quick fix. But anyway, okay, rhino horns for the keratin,
like your fingernails, yeah.
But they're $300,000. Eat your nails. Why don't you eat your own dang nails? But rhino horns for $300,000, which makes me sad because rhinos are cute too.
Oh.
Silverback gorillas is the most expensive live animal being sold on the black market, and that one's also for $300,000.
Like,
I'm sorry, $400,000.
What if you just had a silverback gorilla? That's the thing is like from getting from point A. Okay, you download this Tor executable or whatever. I just want to see the whole process. Like
I kind of did. I've watched the video.
Did? Like, so
he goes on Tor and then he gets into the wiki unknown.
Oh, I did see something. You send an email saying, "Hey,
it's like a Craigslist. It looks like Craigslist, and you just go through and it's like guns, weapons, drugs. Click on this one, and then it takes you to the site, and then that's where you start bartering for these drugs.
And it said it could guarantee shipping within England or something, but it couldn't guarantee shipping outside of England. So that was my thing. Is like, okay, so what if I want to get this shipped to me? Like, get something, I don't know.
Y'all see Cullen in the middle in jail.
But like, how does that even work from the point?
They just put it in the mail. What do you think? They stick it in the USPS.
But how do they do it? And I don't know. Like, that's just so weird. how prevalent or predominant.
Well, I mean, try it if you want to. I'm not going to. Okay, so the next one is highly enriched uranium, which is $500,000 per pound, and it's used to make nuclear weapons. So uranium, of course, it's a big no-no. Now, it's not like you can just get some uranium and blow everybody up. You have to know how to make it into a nuclear weapon, obviously. Yeah. But 1 pound of it could kill, everybody in a 10-mile radius.
That's
I think
crazy.
So thousands of people could die from this. So that's the scariest one I saw.
And you can just get that on the black market.
Yeah, you can get anything on there.
Uranium.
Another one, which was kind of weird, it's doesn't really fit in this list, but it's Holland & Holland Deluxe Double Rifle. It's a gun. It's this rifle, and they go for $1 million each on the black market. And it takes 850 hours of one of these to be handmade by somebody. They're handmade rifles. Okay, you could probably get that. Not on the black market, but
right.
But obviously, black market is the way to go. So, blood diamonds are $4.3 million. The second highest is heroin. Obviously, it's $350 million for one shipment, which is 1.5 tons, and the street value for that is
how do you get that shipped? What if you ordered that? First of all, 400. What was it? 4.3 million. Good lord.
400 million.
$400 million. Imagine that transaction going through your bank account.
That's the straight value of it.
Oh, okay. But still,
I know,
your
right?
accountant's
well, that's another thing that you can get on the black market is you can launder money. That was another huge one.
Oh, all the counterfeit money?
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. I was like, huh. Now I'm wondering.
No, you can buy real money. They use counterfeit money to go. They go and swipe it for you. They take counterfeit money, go and swap it for real money, and then sell you real money. So you can get I was watching this one where you can get $500 US dollars for $100, and it's legit money. You're just trading $100 for $500.
That is just crazy.
And they've done the work for you. They've switched it out. They all switcheroo. So then, and then number one most sold, highest item, whatever, was cocaine. 500 million is what the street value is for one shipment of cocaine. Which I imagine is a ton or whatever.
Could you imagine all that just showing up to your door? There's got to be.
I know.
That's just crazy.
Those are the top 10 for the most expensive things that you can get on, but you can also get things like plastic surgery. A lot of people go on the dark web to find plastic surgery if a plastic surgeon won't do it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So plastic surgery, organs, you got weapons, pets, any kind of exotic pets and stuff.
Pets, yeah.
Or just dogs and cats too. I mean, I don't know. This is one that was very interesting. It's called Devil's Breath. I
saw that.
It wipes your memory. It's called zombie dust or whatever. It wipes your memory. So it's what you do is you blow it on somebody, and it soaks up through the skin or whatever, and then they're like a zombie, and they'll basically do anything you want for a couple days, and then then you pass out, and then when they wake up, they don't remember anything. They're left with nothing. All their money's gone out of their bank account. They have nothing. They've just done everything. Did I get you?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, enter your PIN number. But you can just control somebody completely with this drug, and then when they pass it, and then they'll pass out, and then
it's a plant, right?
Yeah, it's called scopolamine or something. But it completely wipes your memory, which is the crazy part for me because it's just you can do anything to this person, they won't even remember it to write a report about it.
I remember
there's
seeing
all my money's gone. How did it go? I don't know. Who robbed you? I have no idea. But you were hanging out with this guy for 3 days while he's taking all your money and
and it's just something
it's
not something you have to
right. You're seen on camera with the guy leading the way. Here, I'll take you to my bank account and give you all my money. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things I imagine is hard to fight.
I wanted to look into that drug more after that because I was just so intrigued. How does it freaking wipe your memory? I've in the past we've talked about all this stuff, but I've smoked some good stuff before, but
this is different, Cullen.
I know.
It makes me think of that Batman movie where the guy with the dust. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Or Men in Black, or when they
they zap you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's apparently being sold on the black market. And let's see, I think I found out how much it was cost. No, I don't know how much that one cost, but yeah, who knows? Whatever.
Jeez.
Supply and demand. Sperm's being sold on the black market. University degrees.
With sperm with the syringe.
In the syringe, yeah, it's ready to load,
ready to inseminate,
locked and loaded.
Good Lord!
And you'd be surprised, like women are paying thousands of dollars for like some good sperm. So I don't blame you, girls. Men, whew. Going downhill, right?
Just go ahead and do it yourself.
Yeah. So human skulls, that was another thing I said is creepy. And then the biggest thing is people. It's a 2.4 million people a year sold into slavery, human trafficking, for a $32 billion a year industry.
What
Think about that. $32 billion. We have more slaves in the world today than we ever have in the history of the world.
Golly.
And it's like this huge booming industry. And it's crazy because I was listening to like kind of the facts. I didn't write this one down, but like the U.S. government is like, our economy is like the best economy. Next one down from U.S. is the black market economy.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind. They have
the strongest economy next to the United States.
Right. Like they have to be involved somehow. That's what makes me say like.
Well, yeah. One that was funny was moon rocks. These are just like rare things that I found, like Aztec artifacts, counterfeit cat. Let's see, bear paws. They make soup out of the paws of bears.
What the hell?
It was made popular by some king. Apparently, it does something like it's some king-like thing to do, and I don't know. Maybe it like gives you everlasting youth. You know, people will believe anything. People are dumb, Cullen. People are really gullible.
Stem cells in it,
right? That's another thing that was on there was stem cells.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, big tiger beetles that they use for like curing things like these myths, and then one was bladder soup for medicine that cures infertility. So bladders of like these creatures, I don't know, some sea creature. But it was bladder. You take their bladders and you cook them down, and for this medicine, for a soup, and you drink the soup, and it cures infertility. So that's the word. This one's hilarious to me. It's called Zamzam. Now I know that we probably have a lot of religious people that listen to us. I have my own ideas about religion and stuff, but I'm not so religious. I'll never be so religious to where I will go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Zamzam water.
Zamzam.
Which is water that has been extracted from a well near Mecca. So it's like a religious thing. Like it's the water from the well closest to God is what
they say.
So they say, yeah, but it's really actually they tested it and it's like filled with like all kinds of crazy
and minerals
shit.
And
stuff. No, like bad stuff. Like like whatever your bad water is filled with, it's supposed to be bad. Like it's not filtered. How about that? I'll sell you some filtered water for $50.
They just went to the creek and got a bottle of water and said,
and put Jesus. From Jesus. Put it in like a fancy little ceramic thing, and they're like, here, this is thousands of dollars. So that's crazy to me. But people buy anything if they think it'll get them in.
What I noticed was that there's different variations of the quote-unquote black market. There's not just the black market, but there's the dark web.
Oh, my God. That's the one that's really scares me.
So freaking scary. And I remember coming over here one day before we podcasted a long time ago and started playing a video about like you can watch these people get murdered on the dark web.
Yes, Cullen.
Like
that
if people have that fetish, then y'all just need to stop watching.
Shut her down.
Yeah,
close the internet.
Y'all need to stop watching this podcast because that's dumb.
Okay, this is the really really scary part about the black. It's not even the black market though. It is the dark web. I guess you have to pay to like enter these rooms to like be a witness to someone being murdered or whatever. Like, that's the thing. And can you imagine?
You can you can pick their death. Like you can.
And these sick fucks are sitting next to you at the bus stop. People. These are like normal ass looking people that are paying. Or they're going home at night and jerking off watching somebody die. Like that is so sick. I can't even like wrap my head around that.
And it's like a video game almost.
If you're one of those people and you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, right.
That's terrible. But I hate you. Like,
and these people are like dressed in clown costumes. Like, and then they'll bring in the quote unquote victim. Like on a live stream, supposedly, and like in a random room. Can you imagine
being a victim of that and just being like, "What is going on?"
And you let the audience decide your fate. Like, how do you want it by electrocution in a bathtub?
It's like The Purge. It's like that movie. Yes. They're like, stab her this time. Let's do the chainsaw this time. Like chiming in.
So sick.
Ugh.
like just oh my god.
So
I think Shane Dawson talked about this on one of his conspiracy videos. Or
it makes me sad that that's the kind of world that like my babies are going to grow up in.
Right?
Is that's out there? That just scares the crap.
And how long has it been out there too? Like before any of the I just don't understand.
Right? Like, is this something that, like, is this, like, these fetishes, or is this something new that's come in the last century that have come about, or is this, like, an age-old thing that's just been happening for years and years? It's just, oh, yeah, let's get everybody in. I mean, I know there used to be, like, public hangings, and everybody'd go out and be like, yeah, stone them, or hang
that's
them,
true.
You know? So it's
like the digital version of that, but, I guess. You incorporate so much more.
But then you get this twisted, nasty, chainsaw their weenie off. You know what I mean? Like all this crazy stuff.
And who is the person? Like, who is the person? Like, where did they get this person?
I'm only okay with that happening to people that are okay with that happening.
Right. Like, if it was somebody that
if you participate in that, then you should get chainsawed.
Yeah. Oh, we actually, this is kind of not even relevant, but like on Netflix, there's this new Sex Explained doc.
Where they talk about the weird fetishes.
They give like statistics of like watching porn and all this stuff, but like there's one point.
A lot to do with it, I think. It's like
There's one point where the dominatrix and stuff came into play, and me and Katie both like, I'm not into that. That just makes me like, why do you want to get all... I don't know. If y'all are into that, more power to you. But this takes it to the extreme.
Yeah. I think to a point, it's like, maybe... I don't know if it's caused by some kind of trauma in your life or what. I don't know. But I don't know I'm not a doctor here. I don't know what the reasons they are for like kinky things. But there's a point, I think, where it's like it goes, whatever you do in the bedroom with your husband, like if you're like spank me, that's okay. Like there's like a point, there's like, but then there's a point where you're like, okay, now, punch me in the fucking face.
Don't you punch me.
I mean, there's a point, I think, where it goes too far. Just like there's a point where you could, you get so mad you could yell at somebody. Well, then you cross a line into phically hurting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's always like a line that you got to be willing to cross or not willing to cross.
You shouldn't come out of the bedroom after having sex with like
I need a doctor.
Like there's people that like, oh my god,
like all kinds of crazy
Jesus,
stuff. And it's whatever. As long as you keep it to, it's like that. What's that movie and that book that came out? I read those books and I liked them, but they were 50 Shades of Grey. It's like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they showed the clips of that.
Whatever. I get it. Like I get the fantasies and stuff like that, but it's what you do, like how far you go. Like I said, there's a line.
People have been, died doing the whole like choke me thing. Like
they wanted it. Yeah.
Could you imagine like having sex with your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband?
It's awesome. I want to do this every day.
And then a little too hard there.
You said harder.
Oh my god, that would I would feel horrible.
Well, I'm sure that there's tons of that stuff on the dark web, but let me tell you about this one that I just got done listening to this morning after I put the baby down, because I won't listen to this kind of crap with her.
We had to pause this.
I know she's little, but I still feel like it's going to seep in.
Oh, yeah.
But so I'm listening, I'm watching this thing, I'm listening to this guy, and he's telling me all these stories about his experience with the dark web. So it's this guy, and he sounds like a normal, teenage dude, right? He
doesn't show his face, though.
No. So he's telling me about this story, and he is where he first started in the dark web. Well, he got into hacking when he was 13 or something. It was just intrigued with the whole idea of hacking and blah, blah, blah. So he started doing that. And then he found his way into the Tor and then into the wiki. And then he went into this room. I could open this site or whatever. He went in and then all of a sudden his computer shuts off, gets a bunch of viruses, starts freaking out.
I remember hearing about this.
And then he's and then he gets a Skype message from an anonymous person that says, "Oh, you really screwed up now.
I got your IP address,
or I got you now," or something like that. You.
Oh my god, I'd be
you
freaking
entered
out.
The wrong room in the dark web, right?
And then tried to hide or get out.
Well, so the dude's oh my god, of course you're gonna imagine just like you're saying, you want to go in and try to check it out. Just imagine this happening to a normal person, right? And you go and you stumble into the wrong room in the dark web, and now this person has you. Well, so he freaks out. He gets a bunch of emails or whatever. He resets his whole laptop. He freaks out. He's like, "Oh, that was weird."
Yeah.
Scary. So a couple days go by. He doesn't really think anything of it. He comes out of the shower. He's naked. He comes out of the shower. He gets a text message. His phone's on the bed. He picks it up, and it says, "Come closer," from an anonymous number. He doesn't know, no caller ID. And he's like, close. And he had told his buddies about what had happened, Okay. So he's thinking, okay, one of his buddies is messing with him. So he's like, haha, asshole, whatever. Come closer. Well, to where? Where do you want to go? Are you at the window? Okay. And he's like, come closer to the camera or whatever. And they respond back. And he's like, all right, asshole, stop messing with me now. And then his phone just starts like vibrating and freaking out, and like tons of messages, and like his phone like goes haywire, and he's like, "What is going on?" It's not his friend, it's this guy. Oh my God. So then he just gets a bunch of messages, and they're all pictures of him naked, standing there from a computer screen. Like, here's me. I'm the creepy person. I'm taking pictures of my computer screen where I'm looking at you, and then texting them to you naked, pictures of your naked body that I'm looking at you. So then that happens. And so anyway, he goes on to harass this guy for like 2 years. He's harassing this guy. And so 2 years go by, and then it just stops one day. And so for a year, he hasn't got anything from him. He hasn't been harassed from him for a whole year until right before he made this video. And he's like, and then I just got another message 4 minutes ago, or like a few minutes ago, first time in a year. And it says, come, let me in. No. And then like a minute goes by and the door knocks. Someone knocks on the door. And he doesn't answer it. And he's like, can you imagine, Cullen, the fear? Like, that's what I think they're even getting off on, is just the fear that they're instilling in you. Like, they just know that they're scaring the shit out of you. So, of course, he doesn't answer. Well, he's a gay guy. He calls his boyfriend, and he's like, please come over. I'm freaking out, whatever. Boyfriend never shows up or something. I don't know. It was I think, and then that was it. Right. And so I guess he never did that. I don't know why you wouldn't call the cops. I guess
if you think you're illegally going onto the black market,
right,
you don't
like you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the first one. So this same guy, one of his friends, and at this point that they're like teenagers or whatever. Or this happened when they were teenagers. So another guy, I think it was a year after, like, didn't know, he knows this guy, but he didn't know about his situation with this black market and being harassed and all that. So it's this guy, and he is a buddy of his, and he's been buying drugs on the black market. He's been, he'll get porno, drugs, and whatever. So he wants to buy some cocaine on the black market. He goes, he's done this a million times before, but this time he's buying it from a new person, somebody he's never dealt with before. And he's like, okay, well, I want some cocaine, here's the money, whatever. He gives them a fake email so they can, or like an email that they can talk on. And so he's like, okay, that they can communicate until the deal's done. So he's like, yeah, this is where he messed up. He's like, yeah, just send it to me in a CD or a DVD case so my mom doesn't get suspicious, And so by that, then he knows like he's a kid because, send it to me in a video game case so my mom doesn't know, So he gives him the address. And he's waiting on the drugs. Well, then one day his mom comes in his room and she has this video game case, and she's like, "Here, this came for you in the mail." So he's like, "Sweet." He opens it up. There's no drugs. There's a note that says something went wrong. Email me to this email. So it's a new email address. So he emails it. He's like, "Hey, something's going on. I think that if this happens, we're gonna get caught. Like if we do this, we're gonna get caught. So let's just do it in person. Meet me at the elementary school tonight at 7 or whatever." So dude's like, okay, elementary school's down the street. He's like, no big deal. He tells his mom that he's going to spend the night at the first dude's house, right? I was telling you the story about. So he goes down, but instead, so he goes to meet the guy, and he's there, and it's this guy, and he's in a black Jeep, and he gets out, and they do the transaction. He gets the cocaine, and he gets back in his car, and he's like, cool. And he's texting the first guy, let's call him Steve. So he's texting Steve like, hey, everything went fine. Like, I don't know what I was worried about. Because before he'd gone, he had asked him to go with him, and he couldn't. He was doing homework or something, couldn't go. And he was like, just take a knife and like text me and let me know everything went okay or whatever. So he gets back in the car. He's texting Steve. He's like, yeah, everything was fine. And then he realizes that the Jeep's still sitting there. And so he's like, all right, that's kind of weird. But anyway, I'm going to go now. So he starts driving. Well, then he gets to the red light and the Jeep's behind him. And now he's getting kind of nervous. And he's like, oh God, he's following me, you know? So he keeps going, and the dude keeps following him, and he gets to his neighborhood, and I don't want to lead him back to my house, you know? So he just kept going, and he takes some turns, tries to lose him. Finally, he loses the guy. He loses the guy in the Jeep. And then I think it's either later the next night, he goes home or whatever, you know, doesn't think anything else of it. Got his drugs, whatever. The next night, he hears a car in the driveway. He hears like a motor running, and he looks out the window. It's the Jeep. Oh. And so he's like, oh my God. So he keeps looking out the window. But now he like went around where he could get to a window that he could see a little better. And he looks out the window, and it's the guy, and he sees the guy. But in the passenger seat, there's a guy in the car with him too. And this guy, he says, looks super sketch, like messed up t-shirt, crazy hair. And it was like, he just looks really shady. So he just kept looking. And then eventually, every time he looked, the guy in the passenger seat was just staring back at the window at him, like at the window he kept looking out of. Well, he's like, all right, I don't care if I get in trouble for the coke or whatever. I've got to call the cops. So he calls the cops. The cops are like, get a weapon. Wait till we get there, right? Like, find a weapon. So he hangs up the phone before he can even like find a weapon or anything. A man comes out of his mom's room. He thought his mom was sleeping. It's like middle of the night. A man comes out of his mom's room, and so he's like, oh my God. He takes like a flower pot and throws it. Boom! Hits the guy in the head. The guy gets hit pretty hard, I guess, and but the guy had a knife in his hand and like was coming at him. So dang! Right, so the guy comes out of his mom's room. Sorry. Okay, let me back up. So the man comes out. Well, then he sees that the man has a knife, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He grabs the first thing he hit, flower pot. Bam! Hits the guy on the head with the flower pot. The guy falls to the ground. The knife falls to the ground. Kid goes over, grabs the knife, stabs him in the shoulder, and then you can like hear the sirens coming. So like everybody was still there. Everybody got caught, but his mother's was dead. Oh no! Dude had come in and slit his mom's throat.
Are you serious?
He went to jail for the cocaine, like for his involvement, whatever. But I mean, his mom
it was
died.
All because of that. Like, what?
Yeah. So I imagine he's never buying drugs on the black market again.
No, don't do that.
But can you imagine, Cullen? Oh my God.
That would be
so
horrible.
Think twice before you go searching the dark web, Cullen, looking for, your cheap iPhones.
Oh my God. I was about to say, before it gets any more gruesome, there are some fun things that
there are some fun things you can do.
On the black market. There's one user playing a game called Alternate Reality. The game No Love Deep Web had users accessing Tor to hunt for various things. This user got engrossed in the game and ended with me driving to New York to answer a payphone at 3 a.m. That was cool.
Okay, so
like what?
What kind of
idiot would you be to like?
No, wait. I was gonna say, what kind of software? If any of y'all know, please comment and tell us what kind of like software or what kind of like extra precautions. Because everybody's like, oh, you can't just jump on a site like that without extra precautions. Like, what extra precautions are you talking about? You put like what do you do? Extra spyware
on your computer, you can get caught doing. Like, I don't think there's any way around it.
I need a hacker friend. I need a friend that knows how to like protect my. How do you hide your IP address? How do you do all that stuff? How do you protect yourself?
Well, there's a site like Google, but I think it's called DuckDuckGo or something, and it's supposedly a way to. You can even access Facebook on this Tor for like countries that aren't allowed to get on Facebook over, in the Middle East and all that. That you'll get like exiled or whatever for getting on social media sites. You can use this DuckDuckGo, which is like a hidden Google, to search things or get on these platforms, social media platforms, without being caught somehow. I don't get it.
Yeah, but do you trust that? Like,
no, I know. That's the thing. I'm like,
okay, you say you get caught. Like you said, when the cops bust in your door, you'd be like, but he said no one would find me.
There's another example. This one's kind of funny, actually. Sometimes you can find everyday things on the dark web, but what makes it illicit is how you market it. Take this very gross example of something for sale on Silk Road, which is one of those rooms.
That was gone. That guy's doing 2 life sentences plus 40 years.
Yeah, don't get on Silk Road. But you can get a DIY vasectomy kit. on Silk Road. It was a kit of weird dentist tool looking hooks and some tube thing for $20.
That's like a real thing.
There we go, Katie. We got our answer figured out. If we just get on Silk Road and get a DIY vasectomy kit.
Right?
But then you can also get just everyday things like a dustbuster.
You can get a baby on there.
Oh, that's just sad.
I know. You can get a dustbuster. You can get iPhones. You can get.
There was a German
cards.
man selling pretzels, just pretzels, on the black web. Like, why go that far to sell freaking pretzels?
A lot of places are like, I found that are these countries that don't have access to the same kind of goods and stuff. A lot of it, I was researching, and it's really just people that don't want to pay taxes, that want to do it, cash deals. They don't want to have to like claim that they're making that money. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it for that kind of stuff. That's like your iPhones. It's like storefronts. The Gucci bags.
Fake
you
Gucci. And,
see these little vendors on the side of the road. You see these vendors set up at these touristy spots overseas a lot. I used to see them. And it'd be like, these Coach bags or Fendi bags. And then you'd see, iPhones for $200. It's like, how do you get an iPhone for $200? That's $800 at the store.
Right.
And it's because they're buying them on the black market.
Well, one of the other things I thought was interesting that I found in research was the Bitcoin, which I've never really even looked into.
That's how you buy stuff.
That's how you buy it. Yeah,
yes. I have some of that.
Because I was like, you're going to get tracked. Your bank account's your tax man's going to be like, what was this $500,000 purchase for a gorilla on January 2nd?
Yeah, you don't want them asking questions.
Yeah, so you use Bitcoin, which is like virtual money. I guess
yes.
you do. Like, I don't understand
so that's why that in like 2013 or whatever. That's like why Bitcoin took off, because it was people that wanted to buy illegal shit, and they can only do that. They can't do that with their normal Regions account. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they created this cryptocurrency. That's Bitcoin. So you buy Bitcoin, you get a Bitcoin wallet. I have one because I was hoping that the Bitcoin would go back up, to be honest with you. I didn't know that that's the black market to like thrive is how that happens. But that's, the reason that it became so, it became so much. It was selling $20,000 a coin at one point because of the black market. That's why. And as people needed a way to buy these things without it being traced back to them, and that's what Bitcoin is. It's encrypted currency. You can't tell where the money came from.
Sorry, I was just. Oh my God, this is awful.
Oh my God, is it another dark web thing?
It's a dark web thing, like how to cook a person.
Oh my God,
cooking live women seems even more gruesome than cooking dead human meat. This guide focuses on keeping the subject alive for as long as possible while they're being cooked.
Cullen, get off that site.
That is stupid. Oh my God, we're about to get shut down. This is awful. Y'all don't get on here. I just don't understand why it's.
That's why y'all have us. We can do the don't tell mom stuff, and we can report back. Okay?
Oh my God, I'm gonna have nightmares.
See, I didn't get into it. Like, I don't know. I didn't get into all that. I can't go too far. I can't even know. I'd rather be naive when it comes to like the dark web stuff, like just the creepy stuff. Like this one video Cullen sent me a long time ago when you first found it or something. It was this guy, and he was telling his stories about going on the dark web. And do you remember that thing that you sent me? And he was like. He was like telling you like, step by step what he did and then how he got in there. And then he like he accidentally went into a room that he wasn't supposed to be in. And it was literally people watching a murder. And it was somebody, that's the one we were talking about
This
earlier.
is another kind of what you were just talking about. This is a story. It says, curious to know about what this link was. A few more random clicks by the users led them to a new page. Here comes the climax. The new page loads, which had only these words in bold. You better start running.
Oh, see?
Like... I would be gone.
People get a trip off that though. Like they want you to accidentally stumble into their room so they can take your IP address and harass you like that.
If anybody leaves a comment that says anything about running or see me, I'm going to delete it and report you and block you. Like no.
I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the FBI. Gosh. Like the cops ain't going to do nothing. You can call the FBI. Another thing that if you're into the crime stuff, you need to go watch. I think I said this last time was Don't Fuck with Cats. That's the name of the show.
That's on Netflix. Yeah,
Did you watch that?
I started to watch it, but then Katie couldn't. We started watching Sex Explained instead. But
okay, yeah, watch that one next. It's crazy. It's like this guy.
You can get tracked.
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah,
people will find you. if you fuck with cats. He's like killing cats online, but he was putting on YouTube. It wasn't like it was like a dark web thing. He was just really smart, like hacker dude that could like avoid being caught. His IP couldn't be traced back to him.
Anybody listening to this that has had any experience with the black market's probably laughing at us because they're like, y'all are idiots.
Y'all don't even know what you're talking about. But please tell us.
Yeah, I want to know in the comments.
Call in.
Leave a voice message on the Anchor app for us and give us some stories.
We really have no idea how to find you, so it's not like we could trace back to you.
Like, I'm not going to turn you in or anything unless you like did something crazy and you know it. I'm just kidding. But like, no, I want to hear any experience or anybody that you know that's had any type of experience with the black market because it's so intriguing. Right?
Still. Did you get a Coach bag, a fake one shipped to you, or did you get some drugs?
Some of the electronics I saw on the videos I was watching. I was about to say some of the electronics I saw on the black market when I was
when I was shopping.
Or legit, still.
Well, that's what they do. They get people to come over here and steal your phone. Oh, there goes your phone, and then they have these geniuses that'll swipe it and then sell it on the black market, and then it's going to be in India for sale at somebody's shack. Oh
my goodness. Oh, well, there we go.
That's it, folks. That's all we know about the black market so far. So it's very intriguing. Yeah. It's very interesting to know that this is going on. But it's not everybody, in a world full of good, it's very easy to pick out the bad. So,
With it being the second biggest, economy essentially under the
It's only hundreds of thousands of people use it rather than billions of people that do it the right way. But do it the right way, folks. Just do the right thing. That's what my mom always says to us.
Stay on the...
Just do the right thing.
Blue market.
Is that what it's called? Or the white market or something?
I don't know. I didn't want to be racist by making it black and white. Yeah. Stay on the good market.
Stay on the rainbow market.
The farmer's market.
Yeah, the farmer's market. Go to the farmer's market.
Go to the farmer's market. Yeah, get your stuff organic.
Leave that dark web alone, And, thank you so much, y'all, for listening to us talk about this crazy stuff. We love talking about it because it's interesting. Hopefully it's interesting to y'all.
I want to go watch some more videos about it now.
Yeah, if you got some good topics, too, leave us voice messages. Definitely hit the favorite this podcast button. Do that.
Yes.
We got merch on our YouTube.
Merch it up.
Scroll down, merch it up. And
I'm going to put some merch on the black market, so I'll be able to track you.
Sweet. Don't tell Mom merch. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening. Tune in next week. We'll be back 2 times Tuesday.
Don't tell Mom. Peace.